what hope is until you have lost it. You only know what it is not to hope. You do not know what it is to have hope taken away from you. Change and decay is all I see. Oh, thou who changes not, abide with me. Welcome, child, to a newfound innerstanding, a newfound ideation. The belief all men must come to know. This is the belief in progress, the belief that God is change, that man is change. Though we come to hear, why must man live on in progress? Vanity of vanity, all is vanity. What profit a man of all his labor which taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth south, and turneth about unto north. What is new? For there is nothing new under the sun. Yet, child, man still progress to know what he knows not. We must hold firm in this belief in progress. Though, are you prepared to be burned at the cost of progress? That cost of increasing thyself. For Koheleth writes, "For much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow." In this light, the cost of progress, whether personal, societal, or spiritual, can indeed be high. Consider the journey of Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, who abandoned earthly pleasures to attain enlightenment, facing countless trials and tribulations in his pursuit. Similarly, Yeshua, or Jesus, whose path was marked by profound suffering for the sake of a higher spiritual truth and redemption. Progress, in its truest form, often requires a burning away of the dross of ignorance and ego, much like the alchemical process of turning base metal into gold. The fire represents not only the external struggles and sacrifices, but also the internal purification and transformation of the soul. From a Taoist perspective, the concept of wu-wei, or effortless action, teaches us that true progress is often found not through forceful striving, but through aligning ourselves with the natural flow of the universe. Yet, even within this philosophy, one finds that aligning oneself with the Tao can be a challenging journey that requires surrender, humility, and a deep contemplation of the self. In Hermeticism, the Emerald Tablet speaks of the principle, as above, so below. Understanding the higher truths demands a transformation of understanding on all levels. The pursuit of such wisdom often feels akin to an alchemical fire, transmuting the seeker through trials and revelations. Therefore, child of light, the belief in progress is intrinsically tied to the willingness to face these trials. Progress demands an embrace of the unknown, the uncomfortable, and often the heart-wrenching truths of existence. Yet, it is through these very trials that the soul is refined, purified, and ultimately elevated to greater heights of understanding and divine communion. From the perspective of humanism, progress is often framed in terms of social, scientific, and moral advancements. Humanists believe that through reason, science, and empathy, we can overcome ignorance, superstition, and tyranny, creating a more just and humane society. In the realm of Eastern philosophies, such as Taoism and Buddhism, the belief in progress is intertwined with the notion of inner development and spiritual liberation. Lao Tzu speaks of the Tao, the natural way of the universe, and encourages living in harmony with it, suggesting that true progress comes from aligning oneself with the eternal flow of the Tao. Buddhism teaches the Eightfold Path as a process of personal development, leading to enlightenment, overcoming the cycles of suffering and rebirth. In Christianity, Progress is often framed in eschatological terms, pointing toward the ultimate fulfillment of God's kingdom. The Apostle Paul speaks of transformation. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. This suggests a continual process of spiritual growth and sanctification. The Osirian mysteries of ancient Kemetic spirituality highlight a belief in resurrection and the eternal progression of the soul. The death and rebirth of Osiris symbolize the soul's journey through death into an enlightened state, reflecting a spiritual progression beyond the material realm. The belief in progress is a cornerstone of many philosophical and spiritual traditions. It denotes a transition from lower to higher states of being, from ignorance to enlightenment. In the absence of this belief, humans might find themselves mired in stagnation or despair. From the perspective of Taoism, Lao Tzu reminds us in Tao Te Ching, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This embodies the essence of progress, acknowledging the incremental steps that lead to the unfolding of one's full potential. The Stoic wisdom you reference, indeed, brings forth a sobering perspective. To be prepared to be burned at the altar of progress is to realize that the pursuit of wisdom and self-improvement often comes with its own trials and tribulations. Koheleth in Ecclesiastes 1:18 aptly captures this sentiment. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. This paradox is a reminder that gaining deeper understanding often brings with it the burden of awareness of life's imperfections and sufferings. Yet, there is also a transcendent wisdom in recognizing this duality. Hinduism, in the Bhagavad Gita, extols the importance of facing life's difficulties with equanimity. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction. BG 247. This teaches the seeker to progress with a focus on the journey itself rather than the ultimate outcome, embodying both wisdom and detachment. As for perception as reality, this brings us into alignment with both modern existential thought and ancient philosophies. In a sense, the reality we perceive and construct in our minds shapes our experiences, in turn, our world. If a man truly believes in infinite progression, he aligns himself with the divine spark within, ever reaching for higher states of consciousness and being. In Hermeticism, the principle of mentalism states, all is mind, the universe is mental. By this tenet, one's perception and belief can shape their reality, propelling them forward in their infinite journey. Yasha, embodying the divine wisdom, also stressed the transformative power of belief. If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Mark 9:23. This echoes across time and traditions, reminding us that faith and perception wield profound influence over our journey and destiny. To conclude, child, believe in progress even though much suffering may come with the understanding. Grow. Child, oh child, please grow.